Good day everyone and welcome to Exile News, the weekly show that brings you all the important news and informations on Path of Exile. And the first news we got this week is a community showcase which happened for things outside of the recent fan art competition. And you can see there's some artwork, there's actually a witch tattoo, which is pretty damn awesome if you ask me, and even some cosplay. So as you can see, the community is still going on, making their own stuff and making it pretty cool as well. So if you like these kind of things, be sure to check the forums from time to time to actually see all of those, because GGG only chooses a little bit of those when they showcase them, but there's actually a lot more stuff into the forums and on Reddit as well. During Halloween, GGG decided to post a couple of interesting things kind of related to the game, but still not very fundamental. For example, they actually say that the static shrine text is a reference to the Depeche Mode. When you take the static shrine, it says reach out and touch hate, and that's actually the reference. People always asked if that was the case. Now we know that is actually the case. There's also a lot of stuff about names of monsters being tailored to names of people working at GGG. Usually they are anagrams. But the most interesting thing, as far as I'm concerned, is the fact that while we know that Chris Wilson voiced Krilson, the master fisherman, some of the dialogues recorded have not yet been triggered in game, which is absolutely amazing. It's probably due to the fact that you need a combination of things to happen at the same time, and I believe the chance of this happening is like almost non-existent, so we might not see those things for like ages. Also, if it happens to someone, they might not have a recording software ready for that, so we'll have to see how that goes, but I feel like we're not going to see that for a long time yet. And there's also a hideout showcase. This time is the Cartographorium, and I'm pretty sure I saw this hideout like months ago, if not a year ago, but still it's pretty damn great. As you can see from the image, this is actually the layout with the overlay of the places, and it looks really good. It's a perfect, pretty much map of Rayclast. And this is not all of the hideout, there's also other parts which are actually pretty good as well, but the map over here is definitely the best thing and it's amazing, so definitely check this out, it's worth it. Also, GGG came out about integrating the Harbinger content into the main game, and they didn't feel too hot on this. So for example, first, the Harbinger is not going to become a core part of the game, and it will only be available from Zana as a league option in the future, although they already said not in 3.1, so the next league will not have any Harbinger stuff whatsoever. Also, many of the orbs are not going to remain. So for example, the Ancient Orb is not going to be added, the Orb of Horizon and Harbinger orbs will not be added. Orb of Annulment is probably the only one which is actually remaining into the game. Binding and Engineers are not going to be added. All of the shards also are going to be removed. I mean, if you have shards, they will remain, however, you will not be able to drop shards in the future. Although GGG might actually come around and with new mechanics from new leagues, they might actually make the shards droppable again. We will have to see how that goes. The unique from the Harbingers will also not be added to the core game, so they will only be available from Zana when the league is available for our mods. So all in all, Harbinger is actually pretty interesting in itself, but it will not be added to the core game for the most part, and it will not be seen for another 3 months from the next leagues. So probably GGG kind of want to make it go a bit under the radar for now. Also, they say about the language of the Harbingers, which hints about the future and not about the near future but the longest future. So GGG has already plans for a lot of stuff in the future, so probably coming 1 year, 2 years, maybe even more into the future, and the language from the Harbingers are going to hint at that. That actually makes me feel like exploring these languages, so I might actually give it a look. But still, hopefully you didn't like Harbinger that much, because it's not going to be around for a while. And also, GGG, with a very strange move, they actually put out their own personal site for trading, which is pretty much poe.trade or .xyz as you prefer it. Just it's about Path of Exile. So the bad thing is that it's going to be down when they're doing maintenance, I guess, as pretty much the rest of the site. The good thing is that it's always going to be up, and it's always going to be updated with the best and latest API for actually searching. So there should be now changes to the AFK and DND things, so that you can actually have online players when it actually says they are online. The use of the site is pretty easy if you know how to use poe.trade, so it's not going to be very hard for players. And GGG also posted a trade manifesto about trading, and while I am the first one who actually hates trading and really wishes trading will be much easier, but the points that GGG make, there's a couple points about time, about the consequence of having an easy trade, about what's good and what's bad with certain rates of trading. GGG makes some very good points about keeping Path of Exiles healthy with the kind of trade that it has. I mean, we all hate trade chat, and that's okay, but having a very easy trading system is not going to fix the game. Actually, it might even break it. It makes the path to greatness way too easy. So for some players it might be better, but for other players it might be worse. And while the game right now has players who actually cannot get out of, for example, white maps, and on the other spectrum, players that just clear all of the content and are left with no challenges, GG kind of feels like everything is in a good position right now. So while they are actually trying to improve in things, they do not feel like they should change the system too much, because it is kind of balanced at the moment. And the only gripe I have with the current system is that if you play the market instead of playing the game, you are actually improving much better, much faster in actually the game, which makes no sense to me, because the best thing about the game is actually dropping an item that you need, which is better than the ones you have. But that happens so rarely that it's kind of a shame. But still, it's pretty good to see GGG making steps into a better position for the trading and for the game overall. So yeah, that was all for this week. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment down below. Also, if you want to remain updated every week, be sure to subscribe to my channel. So that was all. I've been your host, Tarzan, and I'll see you guys the next time.